It looked like football, it sounded like football, it smelled like football. I think we had the first day of practice.
Yeah, we did. It was good to be back out there, and a long time since March 7th when we left. So a lot of excitement. You know, it was good to see the returners that were out for so long with injury too. You know, to have Tyrone Riley and C.J. Riley and Tyon Palmer, Tayshawn Smith. Unfortunately, there's too many, but it was great to see those guys back on the football field with us playing, and it's good energy, a lot to work on.
What are you looking for in these early days of these practices?
Well, you want to see how they are from a conditioning standpoint first, because you know football shape's different than weight room shape. You want to see their retention from all the meetings. We've had a lot of meetings on Zoom, so this kind of where they're at mentally. You'd like to see people get better from where they were in the spring, but that's probably realistic in the first day. It's been so long, so you know right now it's kind of just where are we? You know, and we can go in and watch this and say, here's all the stuff that we're not good at right now, and let's focus on getting better. You know, there's 6 weeks, so every day is going to be a learning curve.
How many modifications have you had to make to your practices?
A lot, you know. I think just the awareness of how to keep each other safe and how to not spread COVID-19 to the best of our ability. You know, within that, how to play, you know, how to still, like at the end of practice, we can't be together and break it down. So we're out there kind of spread out. It's just, I don't like that, but that's how you have to do it, you know. And our practice isn't as long as it's been in training camp because we're not sure of their conditioning level from a football standpoint. So we don't want to burn them out too early. We got to kind of spread out the work.
I guess even though you can't come together and break it down as a team, it beats the alternative of Zoom meetings.
Yeah, it sure does.
What is the value of a face-to-face communication with a player when you've been away for so long?
None of us signed up for college athletics to be on Zoom, right? I mean, this is an in-person thing, you know, and particularly football players, the emotions of this game, the ability to read each other's body language and have vulnerability and create chemistry. You can't do it without being in person the way that you want to. You can teach on Zoom. You can definitely get information to each other, but the emotional part of this game it's got to be in person.
Will that be another part of this early part of your practices to see how much retention has been had from the 5 spring practices that you had to this point?
Absolutely. I mean, we want to see where they're at from an X's and O's standpoint mentally. We want to see install wise, you know, what might be too much. What do we need to reinstall again, even though this is probably the 5th time they've heard some of the terminology we put in today. But it's a learning curve, and there's some new players, you know, these kids that signed in February plus transfer that are just now getting reps with us. They're going to make some mistakes.
CJ, for a guy that was injured last year, I'm sure today seemed like it would never come.
Yeah, definitely. I just really felt like a kid in a candy shop just being back out there with my teammate. You know, I haven't played since August 31st last season, so just waiting on this day patiently, rehabbing. You know, it was a great feeling to be back out there today.
You know, you guys have gone through so much since March, uncertainty. Did you think today would ever get here when you guys would be able to walk on that field?
Yeah, I never had doubt that we wasn't gonna play. I just didn't know when, but I just know I had to be ready regardless whenever it came, whether it was now or if it delayed. I just know I had to get myself ready. So whenever the time came, I was ready.
How much was practice different out there with the different things you guys have to do not to spread COVID-19?
First of all, with the mask, you know, when you don't have your helmet on, you gotta have the mask on. I think that was the most different thing, and then just keeping your distance when you're off the field, just making sure everybody is 6 feet apart, and then just when you're off the field and don't have your helmet on, just having your mask on. That was just the biggest thing they preached out there.
Lou, can you give me a sense of what this day means? I know you've been through first practices before, but was this a little different considering what we've been through since March?
Oh yeah, it feels entirely different to be honest. Feel good. It feels good to get out there and dust off all the rust and everything like that. You know, get back on the field with your teammates, having all that camaraderie come together. You know, showing just like, you know, I guess all the hard work that you put in alone while you've been at home and everything like that. So it's a great feeling.
I guess we will know who put in the work by themselves in quarantine once we see you guys out here on the field.
Oh yeah, it'll definitely show who's been working and who's been not. The fake will get exposed, and who's been working, it'll show on the tape.
What did you try to do to try to get yourself in football shape when really it's hard to do that in a garage or a basement or your backyard?
Honestly, when I was back at home, I had like I guess like a lot of equipment exposed to me, not exposed to me, like handy to me. Like I was able to go back to my high school, run on the field. I was able to run on a hill. So I did basically whatever I had to get back in shape.